Hey guys, the Dude's Corner here. Today I'm going to be taking apart and reassembling the 3x3. Now I would like to give a shout out to Crazy Cubing for giving me my logo for my channel. A link to his channel will be down in the description. And then I also would like to give a shout out to one of my friends for letting me borrow one of his 3x3s. Now, because you are watching this video, I would ask that you would watch it the full way through just so that you can understand everything before doing anything with your 3x3. Just so that you have an idea of everything that's going on. Now, if you're using two of these cubes, which is the basic Rubik's 3x3 cube, it'll have that logo that'll tell you if it's the basic Rubik cube. And if you're using the mini 3x3, you will not be able to use this video for any help because taking apart and reassembling these two cubes is really hard, so you will need a completely different video for doing that. Now let's go ahead and get on with the teardown and the reassemble. So the cube that I'm going to mostly be using is this basic Shengshao 3x3, and each cube works differently because their spring tensions and how loose it is really does depend for each cube because each cube's mechanism works differently. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick with this cube. It's kind of like a basic blocky mechanism in the inside, but some work very differently. So I'm going to be using the other three cubes here to kind of explain that, how we're going to take apart any 3x3. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the top face so it's at a 45-degree angle, kind of like this. And then we're going to pull out one of these edge pieces right here on this top face. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of slip our thumb right underneath that edge piece, and then it should pop right out. Now usually most cubes will not be that simple to pop an edge piece out. This one just happens to be because of its blocky mechanism. So let me see if I can go ahead and put that back in. If you are using a more difficult cube, kind of like this one right here, and its mechanism just doesn't really want to pop out, sometimes what you might want to do is take a small flathead screwdriver, kind of just slip it underneath right down there, and then you just kind of want to pull it up, and then eventually once you get your thumb underneath, one of the pieces should just pop right out, just like that. Let me see if I can put that. Now if you're using a cube like a speed cube, you might have trouble getting one of these pieces out because it just doesn't pop straight out. So what you might want to do is stretch the corners out just a bit to kind of give it a bit of a gap, and then you kind of want to twist and pull. So you want to twist it and then you want to pull it right out just like that. Now, if you're using a tighter cube, kind of like this one, that there's just no way that this piece is getting out. It's just well in there, you try everything, it's just not getting out. What you're going to do, somewhere along these edges of the center cap, there should be a way you can pop it right out. Now, you might be thinking that we're just gonna pull the screw out and then just take the whole thing apart. Well, instead what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna loosen the screw up. And the reason why we're going to do this is because your cube is too tight. So you're going to take all 6 of the center caps off and loosen every one of them until they're at an equal tension grip for each one. So that way, then you will be able to pop one of these edges out. All right, now let's go ahead and get on to the teardown. That is basically how you're going to tear each one apart for each type of cube. So let's just go ahead and take all of these away. And let's go ahead and rip this cube apart. So like I was saying before, just rip one of these edge pieces out. And then from there, you should be able to kind of just pull these corners out. All the cube's corners should be pretty much the same. They should just come right out. And then from there, you should be able to pull one of these edges from the corner right down there out. And then even one of the corners. And then from there, the cube should kind of just crumble apart. Now time for the reassembly. I would recommend not taking any of these center ones out, just so that you don't misplace the center pieces where they don't belong. So just kind of keep these where they all belong. So we're gonna put that off to the side. Now what I tend to do is organize the pieces. So we have, these are the corners, these are the edges, and we're just gonna go ahead and separate all of those. All right, now to tell if you're missing a piece. There should be 12 edge pieces and 8 corner pieces, and then of course 1 core. If you do not have 12 edge pieces and 8 corners, then you are clearly missing a piece. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about how we're going to reassemble this cube. Obviously what you're gonna do is you're gonna start with the core, and you're gonna go ahead and slip these edge pieces in. Now, if you are putting these edge pieces in like kind of something like this, that is not right because the colors aren't matching. So you kind of want to make sure you're lining up the colors correctly. Otherwise, you will not be able to resolve the cube. So just like that. All right, so we have one edge piece in. Now we're going to go ahead and put the next edge piece in. So we're going to do this red and green one. There we go. Slip that in. Now, sometimes when you start slipping in all these pieces, other pieces will fall out. That'll tend to happen. So you'll just have to kind of keep re-putting in pieces as you go along. Now let's go ahead and do this green-white one. And we're gonna go ahead and slip that one into place. Then we're gonna do this orange-green one. All right, sometimes they will not be all straight, so you kind of just want to straighten those up just a bit. And then we're going to go ahead and start putting in the corners in. Because I started with green, you want to find the green corners. So we're just going to go ahead and slip the first corner in, just like that. The green corner right here. This one's orange and green, so we're just gonna go ahead and put that in right there. All right, green, yellow, and red. So we're just gonna go ahead, put that down right there. Here's a green, white, and red. Gonna go ahead and put that right down there. So now we have completed the first layer. I would not recommend holding the cube like this. These corners are gonna fall out. And now let's go ahead and do the second one. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put this red, yellow piece in, just like that. Find this yellow, orange. Put it in just like that. And then do the orange, white. And then we're gonna just put it in just like that. Now, we're not gonna put the white and red one in yet, just because it'll create it to be a little more easy for doing the last layer. So we're gonna leave that one out. So now let's go ahead and start working on the last layer, which is the blue layer. So what we wanna do is we're gonna find the blue and red one first. So this one right here, we're just gonna slide that in on the white side. Now I know technically this is not where it goes, but what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be building this and continually turning this clockwise as I go. So this is the red side and it's gonna go on to here. So we're gonna go ahead and turn it like that, and then we're gonna go ahead and get our corner in. Just like that. Get the blue and yellow piece in there. Put it in just like that. Now let's go ahead and do the blue, yellow, and orange corner. Put it in just like that. Do the blue and orange edge. Put it in just like that. Do the white, orange, blue corner. Okay. Now when you have just these final 3 pieces, it's gonna be a little more difficult, and what we're gonna do is we're just going to turn this top face 45 degrees, just kind of like that. And we're gonna go ahead and get this corner in. Just put that in right there. And then we're gonna go ahead and put this edge in. Just like that. And now we can go ahead and turn this back. All right, now that we only have one edge piece left, what we're going to do is we're gonna turn the top layer 45 degrees, kind of like the way how we started it. And we're just gonna kind of slip it in. This can get a little difficult, so I recommend putting the piece in kind of like this. Have the whites not completely on. Pull the corners apart, and then it should slip in just like that. You may have to push down on it, but it should get in. And then the cube is fully reassembled. All right, thank you all so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please let me know by hitting the like down below, and hit the subscribe button if you want to see any other future videos like teardowns, unboxings, or whatever. Because there's still a lot more videos I'm going to be planning on doing, so you should definitely be on the lookout for those. And thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. I will be doing a 2x2 teardown.